What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? So here I am on the south side of Chicago at a very, very famous home that once belonged to a very, very famous gangster. And that gangster was Al Capone. This is Al Capone's former home. Al Capone's former home. Let's take a look. Now, if you look at these bars, Al Capone had those installed. Isn't that crazy? That door he had put there for safety reasons as well. Those bars on the windows, that's due to Al Capone. And they continue all the way along. And there's a garage in the background. See it? There's a garage there. I'm here with Social Rec. You all know Social Rec. And I know I'm doing a lot of this and talking like this, like I'm Elvis. I don't know why I'm doing that today.
Give you a few facts about it if you want.
There is yeah, let's say, lay me some facts. Lay me some facts. Send me a fax. Let's hear it.
Here we go.
What do we got? It was built in 1905. Right?
1905, six-bedroom building.
Six-bedroom building.
2,820 square feet.
Huh? How many?
2,820 square feet.
2,820 square feet.
Unit brownstone in Chicago's Park Manor neighborhood.
Yeah.
He moved in here in 1923, shortly after 2 years after he came from New York to assist the existing mob boss out here.
Okay, so he was in New York and he came here in 1923 to help the Chicago Mafia out. Moved into this house. Johnny Torrio's who he came to help out.
That was his mentor, man.
His mentor.
This house hosted the funeral for his brother,
Frank. Yeah, Frank Capone's funeral was held here. That's his brother. And
his mother, Teresa Capone, passed away in this house also.
Oh, Al Capone's mother passed away. I thought she would have passed away in Florida, at the Florida house.
No.
Al Capone's, because the Capone family owned this for years afterwards.
Right.
After Al's death. Way after Alcatraz, all of that. And now, because Al spent primarily, once he was left here, his family still stayed here, but he would stay at the Lexington Hotel, I believe it is, in Chicago. That was his hangout, his hideout, his main place.
1947, ownership was transferred to his sister.
1947, his sister. Was his sister
Mafelda?
Mafelda.
Yeah, Mariotti or something.
Mafelda Ariotti.
Sorry if I mispronounced it.
I'll get it. I'll say it again in a little voiceover.
She
Talk about
sold
it.
the house in 1953 to William B. Petty, it says.
In 1953, the Capone family sold this house. So they owned it for, 30 years. So it looks like the building is abandoned. Looks like no one lives here now. But and Al Capone, when he would come back and visit his family, he usually stayed upstairs. So when Al Capone bought the house in 1923, it was worth about $15,000. Like I said, it was built in 1905 and has 6 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. But recently, back in February of this year, it went on sale for $109,000, and there were no takers. Throughout the years, the asking price has been around $450,000 to $179,000. So then it dropped down to $109,000. But it went back on the market and sold for $226,000. So right now when I'm filming it, it's not abandoned actually. I don't think anybody was living there, but somebody bought it. So it's obviously going to be probably, I would think, turn it into a museum, I would imagine. Maybe somebody's going to live there. I don't know for sure. But I don't think anyone was home at that point. So I've also been able to dig up some more information on this building. No pun about digging up. It's located on a wide 68-foot lot and features 2 units, and both units have hardwood floors in the entire building, tons of wood trim, wood molding, and 2 octagon-style living rooms, a full basement, a rare all-brick garage, and look at that door. That door is saying you are not getting in, but it's also kind of saying you are not getting out. God only knows what maybe I don't think he did any of his personal business in his family house. But you never know. I mean, it's Al Capone. But yeah, he primarily stayed upstairs, right there where I'm filming right now. Pretty cool building. Al Capone lived there. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. Al Capone, I have another video coming up about Al Capone later. Just takes a bit of editing, but I'll get it done. All right, so thank you for watching. Love you all. Peace out. Al Capone. What? Yeah, right in there. Sometimes it really freaks me out when I think about when I actually stop and think, because I don't stop and think ever. I don't think, I stop. But then when I'm actually here, and then after I turn the camera off, I usually spend a few minutes actually just looking at places, and now I'm looking at it in the camera. It's cool. Al Capone lived there. Yeah, just kind of hit me. You just you just saw an epiphany on screen. What? Yeah, because usually I'm living my life through the lens, filming, thinking, talking. But right now I'm looking at it. Al Capone lived there. That's so cool. All right, see you later. What's up? How's everybody doing today? So I just want to start off, before I tell you where I'm going next, I want to give a big shout out to Paul Michaels over in British Columbia. That's Canada. Where I am right now in Toronto. Paul, thank you for upping your donation to me again on Patreon. You're such a loyal viewer, such an amazing supporter. You always leave great comments on YouTube and Instagram, and now you've upped your donation to me on Patreon. Patreon is what is allowing me to keep going. YouTube doesn't cut it. Can't do it with YouTube funds. It's Patreon, and slowly growing. But I'm putting extra videos up there all the time, and soon I'm going to start doing, especially on this trip, half and half YouTube Patreon videos. So full videos on full videos on Patreon and YouTube. But that's the way I'm going to have to do it. So Paul, thank you, and for you, Paul, I'm going to say what I said before. Go Habs. That hurts to say. Hey, Paul, what do you think? This is some hockey talk for Paul, and I'm going to tell you where I'm going to go. The Leafs are going to let Mitch Marner sit out training camp. They're going to sign him on opening day, apparently. So he's going to miss training camp, then miss the first few games, so that John Tavares can play with some younger players, give them a look in training camp, and Mitch Marner's not a distraction, because they figure he'll be just fine once he gets back in the lineup. So Tavares won't be with Hyman because he's out, and Marner. So he's playing with other kids, or other people, whoever the hell they are, or other Leafs. Give them a chance. I think it's a weird strategy for the Leafs. Get Marner signed now, because the Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup. You know that, Paul. I know that. We all know that. The Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. I say that every year. But it's a weird thing. Okay, so where am I going next? Paul, thank you. Where am I going next? I'm going to a few places. Okay, how I sort out my trips. I'm going to 2 more trips, big trips this year. And the next one starts in 2 weeks. I'm going to do some live chats on the road, on YouTube and on Patreon. Now, I'm going to be in New York, Connecticut, maybe Massachusetts, is it Connecticut? Yeah. New Jersey, Virginia, West Virginia maybe, Maryland, DC, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Atlanta, Athens, all the way down the middle of Florida. Mostly a lot of middle of Florida stuff that I'm going to film. And then over to the Gulf, maybe in Miami, I doubt it, but probably the Gulf side back up. And I'm going into Tennessee. I'm doing a lot of stuff in Georgia this time. But Tennessee, Kentucky, then I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go back over to Indiana and Illinois, come back home that way, or go up through Pennsylvania and that way, which I just did before. But I also was in Indiana not too long ago. But I really want to see my YouTube friends there and record some stuff with them. I'm going to figure that out. So if you have any suggestions, not demands, you'd be surprised how many people demand. Say, dude, go to Dallas and film this. Go to St. Louis and film this. It's like, how can I do that? I can't just fly on a whim to these places. I have to save, and I have to work hard in Toronto to save the money to go. I can't, and then plan. I wish I could, but I can't. But if you have suggestions for any of those states, or if you want to meet up and hang out, be in a video with me, that's all good. Let me know. Write to me on Facebook, Instagram, or in the YouTube comments. Let me know. We can hang out. Yeah. So, those are the states. The cities, I don't know for sure yet. I mean, I know some of them. What I do is I think about 3 or 4 big places that I want to film, and I've got them in mind. I know that nobody else has been there yet to some of these places. Then I branch out from there and start finding other places. People send me suggestions, but mostly I just think of that place. Yeah, I want to film that. So I get some big places in mind, stop it, and then I go from there. So it's gonna be a really, I'm gonna get a lot of stuff. It's gonna be mostly, well, you know what my channel is, pop culture. A lot of cool places that nobody's been or done to. This is one take. I can't redo this. It's really hot here in Toronto. It's sweltering. Look at that. It's sweltering. There you got my sweat on the camera. All right, so I love you all. If you haven't thought about joining my Patreon, you should, because I'm going to start doing YouTube and Patreon videos. Like, I upload to Patreon a lot, outtakes, extra videos, but I'm going to start doing full videos on Patreon. So half videos on YouTube, half videos on Patreon. So it could be a big location that I do and just put it up on Patreon. I'm sorry I have to do it that way if you're not on my Patreon, but I don't have a lot of support on Patreon, and a lot of big YouTubers do. And I was talking to one 2 days ago, and they were telling me that's the way to do it. I'm not just taking their advice. I'm reading and researching about YouTube and the algorithm, and it's not working for me that well. So Patreon is the wave of the future, somewhat. If you want to join my Patreon, $5 a month or more if you like, and extra videos, my love, and a special shout out on camera just for you. But I will be doing the YouTube videos, of course. That's how this all started, and I appreciate all of you. And if you notice, I haven't responded to a lot of comments lately. It's only because I'm working all the time, literally all the time, either at my other job or editing. And I've been filming in Toronto, but it's editing, like 5-6 hours a day plus my other job. And then I got shady. But I love you all. I'm gonna see you from the road with a live chat, maybe the first or second night that I'm on the road. That's in 2 weeks. Today's what, the 28th of July? So it's around the 12th I leave. And I'll be seeing you on the road. But I might be doing one more Toronto video before I go. We'll see. I got so many videos that I have to edit and put together still. You'll see what's coming up. And then new ones starting August 12th. And then they'll be all mixed up again. I love you all. Did you say it through all this? This is 6 minutes. I just realized I've been recording and talking. All right. I already said it previously with Capone, but now I'm saying it again to you. I love all of you. And I will start being able to write back soon if I can, because I really love reading everything you write, and I love writing back, and I love the interactivity that I have on my channel, the Scott on Tape family. You guys really are part of my heart. Peace out.